Welcome to Sell Your Books Saturday with a quote from W. Clement Stone. He said, "Sales are contingent upon the attitude of the salesman, not the attitude of the prospect." Ouch. For all of us writers who don't want to go marketing our book because it's too hard, or I'm not a marketer, or I've got all these thoughts in my head that tell me why I can't do this, it's exactly what he's talking about. Sadly. So the reason I chose this particular quote for today is that this is the one that has slapped me upside the head more than I would like. Because whenever I'm not doing the things that I know I need to be doing, it all comes back to this. So, with that, my name is Christopher D'Armani. It is my pleasure, it is my passion to empower aspiring Christian nonfiction writers to share their trauma to triumph journey using a complete, detailed roadmap for writing success, so they can write, finish, and publish their book and make the impact they know they want to make in this world. Book marketing, it sounds like a great big monster, really, doesn't it? And I suppose it can be, if I allow it to get there. Book marketing, though, is your opportunity to help one person positively transform their life. When you think of it that way, oh my goodness, that's why you wrote the book, right? You want to help people. So selling it is simply giving someone the opportunity to shortcut all the learning that you had to go through to get to where you are. That's it. It's a simple conversation about, hey, I understand you have this problem. I did too. And guess what? Here's the things that I did that helped me get over that, through that, around that, under that, whatever I needed to do. And I want to share this with you so that you don't have to spend all of the time that I did, struggling to find a way through. Really simple conversation. Any of us can have that conversation. It's the conversation we wish someone would have had with us, right? You can have a conversation about the problem your reader faces and how your book is the solution. Or you can do what some people do, which is not very effective, is buy my book! Buy my book! Why aren't you buying my book? Because I have no idea what it's about, who it's for, or why you think it applies to me. Yeah, so one approach leads to a sale and a changed life, and the other leads to being tuned out and failure and frustration and wondering why nobody's buying my book. How can they? They have no idea what it's about because you won't tell them. There's a frightening thought, right? It certainly is for me. Proverbs 4:23 is an excellent verse around this. Teaches us to mind our thoughts and our heart against the evils of fear, self-doubt, and a crappy attitude. Keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it springs the issues of life. It all goes back to that thought that what I think becomes my reality. What I feel in my heart is what I project out into the world and what was reflected back to me. If I'm putting out a bunch of I can'ts and I won'ts and I refuse to do's, guess what I'm getting back? Well, I can't buy your book. I won't buy your book. I refuse to buy your book. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy and not one that any of us want for our book. We didn't go through all this effort to write a book to have nobody buy it. But the onus is on us. It all comes back to this personal responsibility thing that I talk about fairly often. It's really, really important because nobody owes us anything. Just because we live and breathe, nobody owes us anything. They certainly don't owe us a living. They don't owe us whatever. It is up to each one of us individually to go do the things that are required of us so we can live the life that God meant us to live, helping the people that we're meant to help along the way. We're put here to serve. And sales, as Barry Baumgartner says so well, sales is simply service. It's making sure that the people who I can help know that I can help them, and here's the product that will help them do that. It's that simple conversation. When your heart is filled with gratitude and filled with opportunity to share your solution with those people, guess what happens? Your enthusiasm carries over. Of course it does. And people are always more receptive to someone who's enthusiastic and uplifting and upbeat than someone who's, buy my book. Okay? Nobody wants to talk to that dude. I certainly don't. But that's all selling your book is, right? It's an act of service to your audience. A simple act of service to your audience. To the person who most needs your book. Because it's the pathway out of all the fear, all the anxiety, all the despair, agony, all that stuff that you know because you've lived through it yourself. They're stuck there unless you actually get out there and let them know that this solution exists for them. Because no matter who you are, no matter what book it is that you wrote, there's a set of people who are your people. God has set them aside because God put this book on your heart to write so that you could help these people. So selling it is actually your obligation. Not only to yourself, not only to those readers, but to God. So think of it in that context. And every time you feel yourself getting a little down about it, or getting a little depressed about it, or falling back on the I can'ts, this is simply an act of service, an act of obedience. That's it. And do it with gratitude. Do it with love in your heart. Do it with joy. Do it with compassion for the person you're trying to help. And do all of that with courage. All of that with courage. So when that next opportunity does appear, interact with your potential reader authentically, deeply, emotionally, transparently, vulnerably. All those things we don't want to do, and yet are so essential if we want to make a connection with one other human being, and so that they can understand that this book that I wrote for them, personally. Even though at the time I had no idea who they were. This is how they get to know you, how they get to like you, how they get to trust you, and understand that you truly do have the solution that they're looking for, that they've been searching probably for a really long time for. And if one of the solutions that you're looking for in your life is, how do I get this done easier, faster, quicker, and with way less agony and angst than I seem to be doing today, then I would encourage you to simply go grab a ticket right now for Christian Writer Unstuck. It's the lowest price you'll ever get a ticket for, and it's going to be an amazing event where you will learn everything you need to know in order to complete your journey down Publication Highway faster than you think possible today. Have a fantastic rest of your day. I will talk to you again tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Bye for now.